All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading.
Behold, look up, and you shall see our universal family. And somebody's like, what in the universe are you talking about? Well, chill, relax, calm down, because today, that is what we're going to be figuring out. But first thing first, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning on The Void Show. I mean, it always is amazing to have you around. It always is great to have you listening. And if this is your first time joining us, I mean, believe you me, you are not under any coincidental event. You know, you are not under any coincidental influence or authority to be here today, right? That's because this episode was specially made for you. Okay, it was particularly made with you in our minds. So a big cheer to you for joining us. A big cheer to you for tuning in on The Void Show. I hope that you are great. I hope you are healthy. I hope you've been learning new stuff. I hope you've been praying. You've been reading stuff. I hope you've been having a fantastic week. I've been excited. I'm so excited for today because we're going to be learning about this universal family, right? I cannot wait, and I really hope that you are keen and ready and hungry to learn more about this universal family. This is The Void Show, and by any probability, if you somehow are surfing through the world of podcasts and you hear somebody say, radio has never been better, well, know that you are on Active FM. I am Andrew, and I am your show host of all time. And so, yeah, I mean, let's speak about this universal family, right? So this is where we should start, right? We should start by first understanding what is this universal family, okay? So when you look up, what do you see? You see stars, right? But you see, those are pretty far away from us, okay? They're like trillions of light years away from us, okay? So today, what we're going to be discussing is our solar system, right? And what is a solar system? Two key words. There are two key important words. Wherever you hear the word solar, just know that it has something to do with what? With the sun. Solar panels, right? It has got something to do with the solar rays, right? The sun, okay? But the system, what is a system? That is different parts working together for a certain purpose, okay? So what do we mean by the solar system? We mean the sun and its different parts, right? Working together, right? For a certain purpose. So that's what we're going to be speaking about. And so this is what I need you to do, okay? Before we go on this adventurous journey. It is an adventurous journey. And this is what we need you to do. Now, if you have seen how our solar system looks like, you are good. We're good to go. But before we start anything, we should first start by having this vivid picture of how our solar system looks like, all right? Because, you know, one of the most popular codes is that when you use logic, you can get from A to C, right? When you use logic, you can get from D to E, maybe H to K, maybe Z to P, whatever that would really mean to you, right? But that's when you lose. I mean, now I can't speak. Well, but that's when you use logic, right? That's what logic means. But you see, you are not going to be restricted by anything if you start using your imagination, right? What does the code say? It says, when you start using your imagination, you can literally encircle the whole cosmos. Imagine a world like that, where people just imagine. I mean, it would be a great world after all, right? So here's the thing. Imagine that you are on a starship, okay? You are on a starship, and, you know, you are in the deep space. You are in the deep space within the interstellar dust, right? Within the interstellar space in your little starship, okay? And you are heading towards our solar system, okay? You are heading towards where Earth resides, okay? And so you're having this picture, and you can imagine yourself moving at very high speeds. And what's going to happen as you approach? As you approach from tens of millions of miles away, what's going to happen? The sun, right? As the closer you come, the sun would start to appear bigger, right? It would start to be bigger and bigger, and it would start to do what? To be brighter and brighter, okay? And eventually, what's going to happen? You start to detect Earth, right? There's Earth there, right? It looks like a faint pinpoint of light, okay? And that's okay. But when you observe carefully, you see that Earth follows this wide path around the sun. Yeah? And when you go, when you observe carefully, you see that at various distances away from the sun, you see other 8 objects. Yeah? Some of them, they are circled by these other smaller objects. Eh? So it's the sun in the middle, and it's these other bodies that are circling, that are orbiting the sun. Hey, when you're viewing this thing, this system from a side viewpoint, it looks like a disk. It's beautiful. Hey, you see that in the space between 2 planets, which are Mars and Jupiter, you see thousands of small planets, right? We call them asteroids. You see, so it's beautiful. You have this beautiful picture. Hey, you might even spot a few comets there. Hey, you might even spot a few asteroids there. Hey, so that's the picture of our universal family. And from now onwards, we need you to keep that picture in mind. And so right after this, we'll be beginning this journey to understand and be familiar with our universal family. Stay tuned.
Can you tell me why Active FM is the best radio station around? Okay, so first of all, I would like to start with the following statement. We got the most craziest presenters around the world. Just listen to this.
Active FM radio has never been better.
So, what are your last words concerning Active? My last words concerning Active FM. Okay, go listen to Active FM because we are the best radio station around. Yeah.
Beautiful, great. So as this marks the beginning of our journey through the deep space with the goal of understanding, with the goal of getting insights, and eventually with the goal of being familiar with our universal family, you might just find out that, well, you actually have a lot of unanswered questions about our universal family, hey? That's okay, because, this is almost like that time when your family has to introduce somebody that's new to the family, right? That was quite mouthful. But, it's almost like that time when your family has to introduce to you somebody that maybe you haven't even seen them in a lifetime, or maybe you last seen them ages ago, right? They're going to come and say, hey, buddy, this is your granny. This is your uncle. This is your auntie. This is your mother, right? It could even go there. This is your dad. This is your grandfather, right? And maybe they like, hey, you've grown so much. Hey, I've last seen you when you were a little kid. And maybe you're like, bro, I haven't even seen you. I don't even know you, right? That's okay, because that's that is our goal for today, right? We want to introduce to you your universal family. We want you to be familiar with your universal family, right? That's why we're saying, look up, behold, look up, wait, look, and you shall see your universal family, right? That's why we bring that epiphany, right? Because you've always seen it, but maybe you just haven't thought of it this way, right? And so, and we were saying it's universal because it's universal, right? Well, why do we say we've got a universal law of gravity? That is because it's universal, right? So it does not matter what you think of it. It does not matter whether you believe in it or not. It's going to apply. Well, decide to choose right now that you don't believe in the law of gravity and throw your phone up, right? It's going to apply, right? So that's what we mean by the law of gravity. So it's there. I mean, by our universal family, okay? It's there. It's there. That's why we say look up and you will see it. It's been there. Our ancestors can be witnesses of this. It's been there. You look up, you see it. There's this consistency. There's this order, okay? The sun doesn't just decide to rise up at midnight, right? For whatever odd reason. It does not do that, right? Because there are laws of nature, and you know, it's beautiful like that. It's been there. It's universal. That's what we actually mean like that, okay? So if you've got those many unanswered questions, don't even hesitate to send them to us, and we will definitely be answering them, okay? So, yeah. Now, a very interesting story to actually start with. You know, we live in a world where everybody is allowed to say whatever they want to say, okay? We live in a world where there's freedom of speech, freedom of belief. You can believe that Earth is flat. That's okay. You can believe that we are special in this universe. You can believe that. So what I'm trying to say is, you can believe that the universe revolves around us. Okay, you are allowed to do that. That's okay. So you can believe that even if it's not true, right? So that is okay. And to tell you a story, actually, for ages, for a very long time, people have always thought that the universe revolves around us. Okay? They've always thought that we are somehow in the center of the universe. Okay? That the universe revolves around us. We should even be special. Hey, it's like this. There's a concept in astronomy called the expansion of the universe. Okay, and if you have heard about it, so if you've heard of the expansion of the universe, this concept basically says the universe is expanding. Okay, and why? That's because we see everything moving away from us. Okay? Whichever direction we're looking at, we see everything moving away from us. You look at the Andromeda galaxy, it's moving closer to us. You look at the other galaxy, it's moving away from us. So that's what we see. You know, it does not even matter what you believe. Yeah, it does not. You believe it's not happening. Well, that's what we see. It's happening, right? It's happening. Right? so that's what we see. And also because of that, people think that, okay, so everything it seems to be moving away from us. So we should be in a special place, eh? Because everything is moving away from us. But you see, nothing could be further away from the truth, because it's not that everything is moving away from us, but it's that everything is moving away from every other thing. Eh? You go to another galaxy, you would still see the same thing, like everything moving away from you. Okay? There's this good illustration about when you want to bake, I don't know what you call this, maybe a bread. It's called a cake, right? When you want to bake a cake and you put in some raisins in there, okay? And when you put it in the oven, when the temperature increases, what's going to happen? Your cake is going to start to expand, okay? And those raisins, imagine if you could stand on one of those raisins and you look at all the other raisins, it's going to seem like they are all like moving away from you, right? You go to another raisin, you're going to see pretty much the same thing, okay? So there was that misconception as well, right? And it was okay on that time, right? Right. So you can just take that as a quick fact for today. So we when we started, we said you are in this starship, okay? And actually, one of there's also a misconception that a lot of people have about our solar system, okay? And this misconception is that because we've got these planets and we've got the sun at the center. So the misconception is that people think that all the planets orbit around the sun in circular orbits. Okay? That's one of popular misconceptions, right? It is thought that as Earth orbits around the sun in a circular orbit, like it's a path around the sun, its orbital path around the sun is circular, and which is wrong, because when you look in our solar system, and this is amazing because it's the sun in the center, and from the sun you've got what? You've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, okay? These 4 planets, we call them the inner 4 planets, okay? Inner 4 planets of our solar system. It's amazing because there's this design, there's this beautiful order. When you look at these 4 planets, they are small compared to the other planets, okay? They either have less moons or no moons at all. I mean, you look at Earth, it has 1 moon. You look at Mars, 2 moons, okay? Phobos and Deimos. So they are small, right? And when you look at their orbits around the sun, their orbits are nearly circular, right? They are not circular, but they are nearly circular orbits around the sun, okay? So remember what we said. It's 4 planets, it's the sun, it's 4 planets. What are those? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, okay? These are small planets. They either have no moons at all or they've got less moons, okay? Small planets, terrestrial planets, okay? So their density, surface density is a bit much higher than all the other planets, okay? These are the first 4 planets. And when you move out, actually, between the 4th planet, right, and the 5th planet, the 4th planet is Mars, the 5th planet is Jupiter. Between that, we actually have what we call the asteroid belt. Hey? It's something that means small planets. Okay? There's a lot of asteroids there. And what are asteroids? These are rocky bodies. Okay? Millions of rocky bodies between these other planets. So it's kind of like they divide the inner 4 planets and the other outer planets. Okay? When you move beyond that, you have your other 4 planets, okay? But the difference is that these other 4 planets are what? These are your giant gas planets, okay? So these are not your terrestrial planets. So they are not like Earth, but these are just gases. They've got very low density. What do we mean by that? We mean you cannot even stand on the surface of the planet, right? It's just the gas, right? You want to go stand on Jupiter, you're going to penetrate. It's gas that's there. Eh? It's a gas planet. Eh? And when you look at the orbital paths of these planets around the sun, we see that these planets are they have more eccentric orbits, right, around the sun. And what we mean by eccentric, we mean something that's not circular. Okay, that's what we mean by eccentric, right? It's an eccentric personality. You surely have heard of that. It's an eccentric circular path around the sun, okay? That's what we mean. And so those are the differences between of our solar system, okay? So by now, we know that there's a design of our solar system, okay? It's beautiful. We've got the sun at the center. We've got 4 inner planets, okay? You can say 4 inner planets or what? Or your terrestrial planets, okay? What is the difference? They are small compared to the outer planets, right? They are small. They either have moons, less moons, or no moons at all, right? They've got high surface densities, which means there's a probability that you can stand on the surface, right? And what divides the inner planets and the outer planets is this asteroid belt, okay? It's millions of rocky bodies, right? Between what? Between planet Mars and planet Jupiter, okay? And then when you've got Jupiter, it's your Saturn, your Uranus, and Neptune. Those are gas giant planets, okay? It's just gas, right? It's just gas that's there. Right? You can't even stand on the surface of them. It's just gas. We call them gas giants. They are huge planets that you can literally fit a lot of Earths inside them. Okay? And with those planets, the difference is that they have lots of moons, like your 80-something moons. You find that Jupiter has got like 80-something moons. Your Saturn has got many moons. Okay? So that's the difference, right? Yeah, and that's how our universal family looks like. But hey, I think we need a gem, and ironically, this gem's name is what? Is Adventure Awaits. Hey, remember what we said? We said we are in this adventurous journey, hey? It speaks about the journey under the stars, hey? It speaks about eyes full of wonder. Wow! Enjoy this gem, and right after this, we will be continuing with our journey, understanding our universal family. Adventure awaits.
Before you, adventure calls from afar. You walk through valleys so dark, you tasted thunder. You're gazing into the west, eyes full of wonder. Just over the mountain, oh, adventure awaits beyond the horizon.
Adventure awaits, playing on a radio station that is Active FM. Of course, it is a radio station, but it's active. Thank you so much for still being here. Thank you so much for still tuning in. I mean, if you're here, it means you are loving what we're speaking about today, right? You are still listening to Active FM, and this is The Void Show. I am your show host of all time, Andrew, and we are on this adventurous journey to understand, to learn, to get inside, and eventually to be familiar with what? With what? With our universal family, okay? And if you have just scrolled at this point by any odd reason, or you have just found yourself here, I mean, you might just want to go back and check out what we were speaking about, right? Really interesting stuff about how our solar system is designed. It's so beautiful. It really is amazing, right? And so that song was Adventure Awaits. So let's speak a little bit about our sun, okay? Did you know that our sun actually contributes like more than 70% of the mass in our solar system? So literally, you can add up the mass of Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, all the planets. Our planets, right? Everything that's in our solar system contributes less than 20% of the mass that's in our solar system. Okay? So our sun is taking more than 80% of the mass in our solar system. Okay? And that's why it is able to have this huge gravitational pull, right? That's why it's able to attract, pull all the other bodies in our solar system towards itself, right? That's why they are in their orbital paths. That's why they are orbiting in their orbital paths, okay? It is because of the sun. It's quite obvious that the sun lies at the very heart of our solar system, right? It's like the parent, right? Right? But you see, it's an average star. It's a typical star, hey? It's just a typical star. It's one of the 150 billion, stars in the Milky Way galaxy, as if we could count all of them. But, it's just one star of many other stars. And because the sun is actually much closer to us than any other star, it seems many times larger, right, than the more distant bodies, okay? We've been speaking about distances that we study. Those are astronomical distances, okay? That it would be ridiculous to say, to use our units like meters, your kilometers, your miles. It's extremely ridiculous. Because if you had to write that, it would literally fill the whole page, right? It would be ridiculous to say the distance to a certain star is in meters, okay? Because that's a ridiculously huge number, okay? That's when we start introducing units like your astronomical units like your light years, okay? When you hear somebody speaking of a light year, it's a distance unit, okay, that we use in astrophysics, in astronomy, okay? So that's pretty much it. Right, so that's pretty much about our sun. It's just an average star, and if you could know, the sun actually, it's the diameter of the sun. And what we mean about the diameter, that's the longest, a circle. If you draw a circle, the long from one, if you, you know what a diameter is, like the longest distance, right, between 2 points of a body, right? Between 2 points of a body, you've got a ball. If you would have it should be a straight line, by the way, right? That's what the diameter is. In a circle, you move from the other side to the other side. That's your diameter. And if you compare Earth's diameter to the sun's diameter is like 100 times greater than that of Earth. Okay? Like 100 times greater than that of Earth. And it weighs more than 300,000 times as much as Earth. Okay? As much as Earth. You want to speak about temperatures? the temperatures are like 5,005. I mean, your body temperature is like 30 something degrees Celsius, eh? 30 something. The sun weighs temperatures, surface temperatures are like 5,507, degrees Celsius, right? That's like 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Approximately 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And imagine when you go to the center of the sun. Okay, you go to the center of the sun, the higher the temperatures are. If you go to the temperature of the sun, you find that the temperature are actually about 14 million degrees Celsius. 14 million degrees Celsius at the center of the sun, and that's like 25 million degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, those are really high temperatures there. So that's pretty much about the sun. And that's pretty much about the sun. And so then you've got all these 8 planets, 8 recognized planets, right, in their order from distances from the sun, right? It's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, right? Pluto's no longer there. When you look at them, I mean, if you observe our solar system from a side viewpoint, you would see that the planets all lie in about the same orbital plane. Okay, they all lie in about the same orbital plane, and you've got the sun at the center. So with that could, I mean, pretty much tell us about maybe, and they all orbit the sun in the same direction as well. Okay, so with that, I mean, you see that, okay, there's a sun at the center. So all the planets are orbiting the sun in the same direction, and they all lie in the same orbital plane. It probably tells us about maybe what happened, before in our solar system. It kind of suggests a lot of things on how our solar system came to be as it is right now, right? So. Yeah, and then you've got moons, okay? What is the moon? That's a natural body that orbits a planet, okay? There are more than 125 known moons in our solar system at this point, okay? And the majority of them, as we said, they orbit the giant planets, okay? Your Jupiter, your Saturn, and a little more than huge, we're speaking about those that orbit our terrestrial planets, okay? And then there are asteroids, of course, and there are comets in our solar system. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed the show today. I did. And, we now are familiar with our universal family. Can you confidently say you are familiar with it? I mean, I am, right? Because we now know that our solar system is divided. There are giant gas planets. There are small terrestrial planets. We know the sun weighs more than 90% of the mass in our solar system. We know that there are moons, there are asteroids, there are comets. So that is our universal family, okay? So right after this, I'll be telling you one last interesting thing. You don't want to miss this.
What is active worship?
What?
Hello, Active FM. My name is Riabetsu Milao, and I am part of Active Worship. Active Worship is a group of kingdom builders who use their instruments and vocals as another means to glorify God and have recorded thus far 12 great albums. And I am so privileged and honored to be part of the team. I get to sing back up, I write songs and lead worship, and it's just been an overall blessing to me. So yeah, I'm very grateful for Active Worship.
Well, I think it's time for you to go and listen.
Okay, and apparently we have reached the end of the Void Show. It's not always a good time, right? But what's good is that we have learned stuff today, okay? We have learned a lot of stuff, right? We've learned a lot of stuff, and I mean, we had some crazy, beautiful gems today in studio. That song was "Adventure Awaits." Okay, I love it, and ironically, somehow resonates with what we're speaking about today. It speaks about the journey under the stars. You know, your eyes being full of wonder. Hence, we're saying, look up and wait. Behold, there's your universal family, right? A beautiful topic for today, and for next week, we're gonna be speaking about the nature of electricity. Okay, we obviously use electricity a lot in our homes. It's what drives the modern world. Okay, it's what drives the modern world. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Okay, electricity is anything and everything, especially in today's world. I mean, just look at what happens when there's load shedding. Just look at what happens. Just observe it. And you will see that, I mean, electricity rules the world. It drives the modern world, okay? But we can work without it, okay? I mean, our ancestors lived pretty much well without it, okay? And, yeah. So we're going to be speaking about the nature of electricity. I mean, you know, knowing electricity is okay, but imagine if you could know how it works. Like, what's moving? What's shocking you? What's moving? What's the nature of electricity? Imagine that. Imagine a world like that. Imagine it. It will be a world full of geniuses. Well, from me, myself, and I, this is the Void Show on Active FM. It's December. It's December. So, yeah. I mean, it's a time for love, and take care of yourself. And we shall meet again next week, same place. Bye-bye.
Active FM. Radio has never been better.